Hey, AD.
Hi.
We're the Consueloses.
Welcome to our favorite place on earth.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Welcome to our cigar lounge. My cigar lounge.
It's my cigar lounge.
Yeah. Otherwise known as Bar 5. It's on the 5th floor.
Well, the impulse was we wanted it to feel like 1970s New York City meets 1920s Paris.
It was a pleasure working with Bill Sofield. He said, well, why don't we go to Paris and go to the flea markets and get a bunch of stuff for your house? And I think that's where we really fell in love.
This became the hangout room in the entire house, and it was initially thought of as just Mark's space where he would go to smoke cigars because he had a special ventilation system put in here that sucks the smoke out of the sky, allegedly.
You smell cigars?
No, you can't. It never smells like cigars in here, which is crazy because I know a lot of cigars have been smoked in this room.
For sure.
Sporting events are watched, games are played, cocktail parties, everything happens.
And the design inspiration, we saw this Yves Saint Laurent documentary called L'amour fou, and I just love the color of the paint somewhere on a wall. That's how we started with the room. And we found this table.
The best find.
I think it's from the 70s, and it's like really old school fiber optics.
But we had to have the glass replaced because the glass was so fragile from it being so old and so many, I think, parties. There's a lot of etchings in the glass, so we had the glass replaced.
Yeah, a lot of Formula One inspired photography, because I love Formula One. It's the ultimate guy's room.
I don't come up here often, but when I do, I always say to myself, I should spend more time up here. It's so pretty.
Check this out. My cigars. Little humidor.
Okay, just so you know, I've lived here as long as he has, and I did not know that was there. This is our bedroom.
I think the feeling for the bedroom was always like when we travel to Europe or we go to a beautiful hotel, the feeling that you get there, it's sexy, it's peaceful, it's quiet. That was the feeling we were going for in the bedroom. I really feel at home here.
Just about every light fixture and everything you see in this room has come from the flea markets in Paris.
Yeah.
Something more interesting than just us happened to all of these beautiful pieces. And we're glad to be able to give them new homes and new lives.
And don't think we're crazy about putting a mirror in front of our bed. It hides a TV.
We don't stare at ourselves. We watch Judge Judy.
Judge Judy. And I remember the gold leaf at the headboard took, gosh, they had like these elves in here. Yeah. Just rubbing and laying more down, rubbing, and we watched them do it
But we kept thinking it was perfect. Every
time,
layer, it's perfect, don't touch it.
These two, I guess we could call them like little chandeliers. They're a pair, but they came separately, and we got someone to match the fringe on both, and it just took such a long time.
This is where I spend most of my time. I do a lot of work in here. I wrote my book right there at this desk on that chair, and I had to have it reupholstered.
Yes.
Because I wore the fabric out of the chair in the shape of my rear end. That's how much time I spent there. Also, in winter, spring, summer, fall, it's a beautiful view. And then I love these pictures of the kids because these are kind of the ages they were when we moved in here.
Oh yeah, the artwork that we have in the hallway is from an artist named Mark Quinn. By the way, those are our kids' eyes.
And he photographs the eye and he paints the eye, but from the inside looking out. So it's not a print, it's not a photograph.
You know, they don't live here anymore, so when we leave our bedroom, like, it feels like they're still with us.
And I could stare at my kids' eyes forever. I just think they're great. And now, even though the kids are gone, we still share a bathroom and a closet. And people always find that very remarkable. Why don't one of you take one of the kids' bathrooms and closets? And we've always shared a bathroom and a closet.
And we always will.
And I don't think we will ever not share a bathroom and a closet. I just feel like you and I live well together. It's also forced us to be very diligent about what we buy, wearing what we have, not being wasteful.
Right.
It keeps you honest. We've moved several times in our lives, but no matter where we go, for me, this is my forever home. When I walked in here, I was like, this is the final place where I will live. I love this house so much.
All right, welcome to our living room.
This would be the informal, formal living room.
Yes.
We have had so many great parties in this room. It presents as fancy, but it really is super comfortable and very casual.
If we have an important meeting and someone's coming to our house,
a
business meeting,
where we try to look adult, like,
come in, and then I do this. And then they're trapped.
We make them sit on the sofa, which is like a chic, shiny velvet, and then
we watch them slide.
Kind of throws them off a little bit. At the end of the day, we're still us, so it's going to be goofy. And the fireplace is
Louis XVI, I think. And during Christmas, we actually have that middle part of that couch removed. We spread out the chairs and we put a Christmas tree right in that window. So,
and this entire room becomes a Christmas room.
And the tapestries.
They are works of art. They really are.
There is a TV in here. It's behind that beautiful mirror there that just turns on. And these guys are a hit, especially when we have little kids come over.
Oh, yeah.
We've had to glue a couple of those ears back on because they've been dropped.
The late, great Gloria Vanderbilt gave us, as a housewarming present, one of her paintings over the fireplace, which I actually think she did with pastels. She just said it looked like us. We also have a photo of her when she just completed it in her studio.
Yeah.
So it just means a lot. You know, I always feel like she's watching over us.
All right, this is our dining room. Big family meals, dinner parties.
Lots of Sunday Chinese food with our friends.
Yep.
Which leads us to the best part.
You love a lazy Susan.
Because I am lazier than most Susans, but I didn't necessarily want to see a lazy Susan. Check this out. Tell me that's not the greatest. It is so great.
When the rice and the food get stuck.
Flip that up, pull it out.
And you can lift it and you can vacuum.
Vacuum.
Ball bearings and a groove and you've got a lazy Susan. I knew I needed an office. It didn't need to be big. And so I found space in the back there. And so we turned that into my office. I get a view of the garden. I can take some calls. And it's also a little butler's pantry bar for the dining room.
So this chandelier, extraordinary, sculptural, truly beautiful. This came from Vienna. And Bill said, if 1/3 of it arrives intact, we'll be thrilled.
Yeah.
And the entire thing arrived.
Flawless.
There wasn't a beat out of place. It was really a miracle. And you know, I'm going to tell you the kind of guy that Bill is, because he is a very unique person. We were with him in Paris and our youngest son came with us and he loved escargot. And Bill, I think, found it quite remarkable that a little kid that was, 9 years old was eating snails. And so Bill bought this for Joaquin for the house. They're escargot toothpicks that you can pick your snails out of the shells. And I just found that to be like indicative of who he is. Come on into the kitchen. Every room is the heart and soul, but this
really is, yeah. And it's nice, it's just off the garden if we ever want to go outside and have a cup of coffee. So we're very serious about our coffee.
We're fussy coffee drinkers.
So you can see we have multiple machines for multiple things.
This is the snack closet.
It's the pantry.
We come home from work. No, but it is more than a pantry. It is a snack closet because most pantries have things that you would cook with. This one just has snacks. We come home from work. We immediately go there. We get a snack. We sit down here. We finish up whatever work we have to do for the day.
And it was fun finding like all the stone and going to the yards with Bill.
You guys went to quarries.
Yeah.
And you were talking to me about how it had a singular vein that ran
this vein,
through it.
you could see there was a shift. There was like a seismic shift here that used to be like that and something happened. And all these lines are just a little bit off. Or they cracked it and they just put it together wrong. I'm not sure which one it is.
Oh, and I dug this picture up to show you guys because we were talking about when Bill took us to the Paris flea markets and he sent me this photo. I tried to convince Mark to buy a giant disco ball and he said it was just too on the nose. Also, our fairly not quite opaque, mildly translucent cabinets keep us honest. We are forced to be organized. There were so many discussions about pulls for the doorknobs and for the drawers and for the cabinetry. I did not realize that those would be separate purchases, those would be extra. That was you and Bill going to get every pull.
Yeah, we looked at all the pulls and they do match the ones in the bar and the cigar lounge. Those are nice and sturdy and they were nice on the hand as well. Yeah, they're everywhere. Oh yeah, one thing we did here, which I thought was cool, is he wrapped this, otherwise the kitchen hoods are just kind of like industrial. So we plastered the kitchen hood. Love the shape of it. We went from living in a loft downtown in Soho. Everything was like this,
very industrial
stuff, to plastering my oven hood.
Yeah, having arches, departure for you.
Arches. And when I saw things like with round shapes, I'm like, what is that?
That was not your cup of tea. No. He used to like austere, minimalist spaces. And then I think moving uptown changed you.
Yep.
Turned you into a gentleman. I cook, but you're the griller.
Yeah, caveman stuff I can do, but she's a fabulous cook.
No, I'm not a fabulous cook. I cook. There's a total difference in those two statements. I do great because he's hungry. Although I will say, when you see the eggs in the magazine, those are stun eggs. I did not make those eggs. My eggs are gorgeous.
Pristine.
They are really pretty.
All right, AD, that's it. That's our tour.
Hope you enjoyed it. Come see us again.
Please.
We're gonna go change into sweatpants.
See ya.
Bye.